Alrighty, so it's time to put the mix in. So I add it to the vinegar and water and other seasonings that I have already put in there. And it won't take long for this to dissolve. I'd already kind of brought it up to boiling. I'll mix that up really well. Take the water bath up a little bit. Bring out my prepared jars. And put in the other ones. So here I got a big jar and 2 small ones. Now what I'm going to do is rinse these off. I got to put some stuff out of the way temporarily. So why do this? It starts the brine process, and hopefully will give me a crisper pickle. Also going to wash my hands. But I've been throwing discs, I've been lifting weights outside. Been just a bundle of activity, so I'm going to move the camera a little bit. Try not to knock it over. There we go. I got these in water. That is at a rolling boil, so I can knock it down to a simmer. And now I'm going to pack my jars. So what I do is I go on an angle so I can keep them standing up, and I want to get as many as I can. You basically want to fill the jar with cucumbers and not with the solution. So you jam them in there until you can't. There we go. So, kind of like this, where you can see they're pretty well jammed in there. What I'll look is for one where I got a little entryway. That'll allows me to jam a few more in there. There we go. Because as tight as you think you got them, when you put the solution in, they'll open up. So same thing. Come on. Okay. And some of these shorter ones I'll just jam in like that. Now you can see I jammed a bunch on top too. Might make them a little difficult to get out later. But once you free the first one, they'll be fine. So originally I'll have 3 big jars, and it kind of lets you know how quickly you go through your pickles. I figure I would have at least 6 jars already cut up, and I can see that is not the case. Which is a good thing. Alright, so 3 jam full. So what I'll do is, I'm even going to wipe the tops after I pour the brine in, but I like to do it before too. And then granted, sweat's got a lot of salt in it. Not necessarily want that in there either. But basically what I do is I pretty much sterilize the cup by just put it in the hot brine that I'm using. There we go. And again. There's my pour. Put that in there for a little bit. That'll basically kill anything that's in there. And I carefully bring it over and dispense it. I'm going to have more brine than I'm probably going to be able to pickle, and that's alright. I'm bringing it about a 1/4 inch headspace, because you do want an air gap in there, otherwise they can explode during the canning process. And you do kind of wait a few minutes for the air bubbles to get out of it, but you'll notice that you might have to put a little more brine in it. While I'm doing that, let's nuke it again. Like we did last summer. Let's nuke it again. Like we did last year. Not necessarily a hit song. So it'll take about 24 hours before these are testable, but I will probably wait longer. Basically, the longer they're in to a point, the more flavor they absorb. Got that in there. I'm tempted, and I guess that'll be okay. I'll leave this up over here. Time to wipe the lids down again. And then I put them on just snug. Just bigger snug. I don't want them tight because during the heating process, the air is going to expand, and I do want it to be able to release. So, I got my bath water all rolling. At this point, they're not too hot, I can put them in by hand, but I do have gloves for this. Then with quartz, process time is 15 minutes. I always do 5 more. I feel it's a good idea. So now I got 3 more I'm going to be able to pick. I'm going to chop up some slices and put them in the jars, and we'll get those ready to roll. I'll pause it for right now. Alright, so back in the final part, I got those processing. I have reused your pickle jar I bought. Pickle's not in there anymore, so getting ready to pack the cucumbers in there. So they just came out of the microwave and nuked them out 3 different times. That should pretty much kill anything that's in there if that process doesn't kill it alone. I got everything in the bat. So here I'm just going to put slices in these, because the wife likes these on her hamburgers and other things. So I've got different sizes. I try to mix them up so one doesn't get just small pickles, the other one just gets large pickles. And then you know, they'll fill up loosely. Then I'll have to kind of pack them down, because you do want to fill these up with the cucumbers. And obviously you want to take advantage of as much as you can. That's kind of why you do the different sizes. Smaller ones in there to fill in the gaps. And sometimes you just gotta get in with your finger and push them down the side. And really what you're trying to do is get as many cucumbers to fit in the jar as possible. And that will help everyone to get more pickles that way, and it works better. So, got these jammed pretty well. There's some gaps in the bottom, not really much I can do about that. You can kind of beat it a little bit, and that might give you the opportunity to maybe squeeze another one in there. Yeah, that's going to be all for those. And then this one I'll put the rest of the slices in. And hopefully I have enough. If not, I'll just have to cut one up really quick. I think it's going to be close. What we'll do is I'm going to put the slices in here too. And it is, it's going to be close. Probably would like to have more in there, but close enough. Garden. Try to clean up as much as I can as I go. So, not bad. 4 quarts and 2 pints. Once again, give it a quick swirly. And get the brine in there. So the salt bath was just to start the process. And then this finishes it. Here's where the real flavor's coming from. After it's processed, you'll see most of the stuff will float to the top. And I'll probably have a ½ inch or an inch gap on the bottom. This is what happens when you do it by hand. Well, it looks like I calculated this pretty close. So I got a cucumber for the wife to make salads out of. Got a lot of tomatoes. So my next canning process is going to be tomatoes. Which maybe I'll do Saturday morning. If not, it will be either Sunday or Monday. I have to do it pretty soon because they're getting pretty red over there. I have been given some to my co-worker. He loves tomatoes, and boy, I brought him one of those beefsteaks. Woo-wee! He was a happy camper. All right, I'll take that off the heat. Same thing. I loosely cover them. And then these will be the next ones I put in the batch. This one's got another 7.5 minutes. So I'll pause it. And actually you'll see it'll be the finished product. Okay, so the timer went off. So what I do is I cut the heat down really quick. It won't take long to get it back up to a boil. And I set these off to the side. They're going in next. I got my grabber. So these are heat resistant gloves, but not too hot water. But I wear them. And then I put what I call a death grip with both hands. And bring it over here as soon as possible. And you can tell it's still boiling through there. I keep the lids loose for right now because the liquid is very hot. What I'll do, I'll even loosen them and let some air escape, and then tighten them up. So you can let them sit for about 5 minutes before you tighten them up. I'll put the next batch in. Now I do have 2 that won't need to get processed as long, but the volume's pretty close. So really not going to make a difference on that. And I'm going to set them for 20 minutes anyway. It won't hurt them. So here is the finished product. And then after 24 hours, they should be thoroughly pickled. So what I do is I loosen it a little bit. And in about a minute or two, I will tighten them down tight. Then as they cool, that air will condense, and then that will make a really good seal. And then I will date them September of 22. And the whole idea is to eat these before September of 23. So pickling is good for about a year. After that, they start to get rubbered, and they're just in there too long. So, hope you enjoyed it. I got the last 3 processing will be done. I did, I think, 15 quarts of sweet pickles. I've done about 18 pints of salsa. I got my 4 quarts and 2 pints of dill pickles. And then the next thing I'll do is I probably got about, I would say, at least 8 quarts of pickles to do. Or not pickles, tomatoes. Depending on how many more I pick. But these babies, ooh, they're great for sandwiches. I just can't eat that many sandwiches. But reminds me, I need to go to the store and get some bacon. So everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, and I hope you enjoy the video.